And I'd pull up and I'd just go walk up to a homeless person. I'd just sit next to her. And I'd just be like, how have you ended up like this, mate? Because I thought that that's where I was going to end up. I thought I was going to either end up like them or I was going to end up dead, because I was looking for ways to kill myself. I was actually online looking for the easiest ways to die with no pain.
Yo, my people there, it's your boy Trist Rap City, and I'm back with another episode of the Brand Therapy Podcast Season 2. As you know, we go over brands, businesses, and experiences in a bit of a therapeutic fashion. Today, one of the main reasons why, two main reasons why this had to happen. Number one, this was someone that I wanted to get on the podcast for a long time, prior to even see, like, this is just from more so a point of view of just knowing the journey and whatever. And then starting to post his content on Grow Daily, which is one of the brands that I control. Starting to realize that the analytics on the post, anything to do with this guy, was just like going mad. Like, people just, it was like cult-like. It was just like, yeah, boom. Like, this is the guy, this is the guy, this is the guy. Especially the younger generation between like about 16 and 21. So obviously, being someone who understands building a brand, you've got to listen to your audience. And even when we put out there, who should we interview, whatnot, Flomsie kept coming up every single time, like Flomsie. So it's only right, in the Dubai Marina settings, that we made it happen. What are you saying to me, my guy? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time that I've seen your journey, whether we've spoke or not spoke, just because of obviously our surroundings. And I feel like the gems you've been dropping from a mindset point of view, before we even go into business, because anyone who knows me knows that the mindset thing is like what Grow Daily is about, what I'm about. Yeah. You're part of it. You're on the same mission that I'm on. Not even necessarily that you're trying to, because no, I'm not trying to actually be a motivational speaker. Yeah. Like, that's not my goal. I don't actually even want that title. Yeah. But we're just talking our experience, what we're learning. You're definitely someone I can see who like is big on learning. So yeah, like how you been, bro? First and foremost, like, how's Dubai treating you at the moment?
Yeah, no, listen, I've been out here for about a week now. With lockdown back at home and that, it's a bit lockdown really for this whole lockdown really has done a lot to my mental health. Do you know what I mean? So
for real, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's done a lot.
I respect the honesty.
It's done a lot of damage, to be honest. And
in what sense?
In the sense that usually in my life, because I'm always like I'm addicted to work. So I'm addicted to every day I wake up I'm on a mission. Do you know what I mean? And so I have to keep myself occupied. I can never sit still, because if I sit still, then all I have with me is my thoughts, because a lot of the time I spend by myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always with my thoughts. And what the lockdown did by, for example, closing all of the restaurants, closing hotels, because a lot of the time I might have meetings in hotels in the like lounge areas and things like that. I might be in the Ned uptown, or I'm always in hotels in and out of London, so I'm always having meetings. And with lockdown, where it closed everything and they tried to keep us inside, or they did keep us inside, you know, I couldn't really do it myself, so I was going out every day anyway. But imagine you're going out and you're just looking around and the roads are empty. Like, even like Mayfair at the moment is dead. You know, it's Berkeley Square is like, it looks like we're in a world war. And
I can't even picture that, bro.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, because you've been out.
Like when I left part of the first lockdown, but it weren't this bad at all.
Yeah, nice.
But it's interesting you said like even like it's testing you mentally, because I said this yesterday on my live the other day. I said some of the strongest people that I know are mentally tested during lockdown, which is making me now take it a lot more seriously. And even you saying that, it's like you're a strong-minded guy. So for you to say that, it's like, is that from a point of view where, like, what don't you like about being locked down in regards to just being in your space?
So with the lockdown, I think, because look, I'd say I sort of have like a type of pedigree, in the sense that all I've ever done is work. Do you know what I mean? That is all I've ever done, and I've done that since I was like 17 years old, when I first because my journey was eBay. I was buying and selling fake Ralph Lauren polo shirts on eBay, and then I went into Lacoste shirts. Then I went into Juicy Couture tracksuits. Then I went into UGG boots. I went into Tiffany & Co. fake jewelry. I went into Chloe handbags for girls. Do you know what I'm saying? So since 17, imagine every day I'm just on it, just trying to build my future, trying to take control of my future, you know, because I got to a point in my life, like I was a kid, I got to a point where I just thought to myself, you know what, I've realised as a young age, I was always winning sports days, so I was used to being a winner, I was good at football, I was used to being the best in the team, I was always used to being good, I was always used to being, not even good, I was always used to being great, do you know what I mean? And so once I finally hit around 16, and football wasn't working out for me, so I used to play for Charlton Youth Academy, and once that wasn't working out for me, I started realising that, wait a minute, there's going to come a time when I'm going to have to go out into the real world, yeah? And I started doubting myself. And it's funny, actually, because it's only like now, sometimes I sit there and I think to myself, you know what, I've been living in madness my whole life without even realising that I was living in madness. Do you know what I mean? Because I was constantly fighting these battles. I constantly had this voice in my head trying to guide me, trying to say to me, listen, look, I know that the environment you're in right now isn't what you want, and yeah, you haven't got any money in your pocket, and yeah, life might be shit at the moment, but like, just keep on going, things are going to happen.
Where do you think that comes from? Like, where did that come from in
the
you?
mindset?
Yeah, like...
Right, so the mindset, all for me, it all came from, first it was like movies. So I'm watching like Scarface, yeah? I'm watching Scarface, Tony Montana. You're seeing him flipping burgers, do you know what I'm saying? You see him, like, there's one scene where he's flipping burgers, he's working in the little burger store.
When he first comes from where he's from, innit?
Yeah. So he's flipping burger stalls because he's just off the boat from Cuba now. He's flipping burgers. And then one day, him and his partner, they said they saw these guys pull up in a nice car and that, and they had that moment, and they said, oh, you know what? One day they said, we need to be like that guy. We need to be like them, yeah? One day he just quit the job. Walks away in the movie, takes his apron off, boom, throws it at the guy, yeah? And the guy says, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, I've got to look after my investments. Do you know what I'm saying? And in this game of, because everything to me, I look at this life as like a game, yeah? Facts, in this game of life, like, everyone has to have that moment. Do you know what I'm saying? And that moment is when you say, you know what? I'm going to have guts now. I'm going to have balls. I'm going to say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not accepting what life is giving me. I'm going to take control of my life now. Because there's a saying that says, when writing the story to your life, never let anyone else hold the pen. You know? So Tony Montana, in the scene Scarface, you're saying, he's taking his apron off. He's saying, fuck that. I'm not doing what you're doing, what you're telling me to do no more. You're holding the pen to my future. I'm going to take control now. Take your apron back. And that's it. And I had a scene like that with my mum, an encounter with my mum when I was young. When one day I just come home from uni, and I just said, you know what? I've had enough. I said, I've had enough. And I've come home, and my mum's like, why are you here? I said to her, I think this was like 2008 or maybe 2000. I'm not sure the year, but I've just said I've dropped out of uni. That's what I said to her. She said to me, "No, you haven't."
To that, boy.
She said, "No, you haven't." I said, "Yeah, I have." She said, "No, you haven't." I said, "I'm not a little kid anymore. Yeah, I am not going back to uni." And she had tears in her eyes, like, as in, like, what? Because she's always played life safe. Do you know what I'm saying? But what did playing life safe get for her? Do you know what I'm saying? And so I was always looking at my life and I'm comparing it to hers. Not saying like, I'm not trying to diss my mum at all.
No, but you know what it is? You see, parents, one thing I always say is they pass on their own traumas. So it's not like they're bad. Like you said, no one's going to disrespect their mum, but naturally, bro, like, they could have been through so many things that they haven't dealt with that's just passed on to us. Like, we're just born like that. Do you get what I mean?
And then they install that into us.
Facts.
So, you know, how my mum was. My mum wasn't a lawyer. My mum wasn't a doctor. My mum wasn't an accountant. She wasn't any of these things. But she wanted me to be. She wanted me to be a lawyer. She wanted me to be a doctor. She wanted me to be an accountant. But she was never capable of becoming that herself. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not to criticise my mum, because she just wanted because of her upbringing and her life, because
it's her perception of what she sees as better.
Yeah. And she just wanted me to be safe. She just wanted security.
Yeah.
But what it was for me is I got to a point in my life where I was like, you know what? I don't want security. I want all or nothing. Either I'm going to be up here or you might as well, or let me jump off this balcony. I don't want to live here. Do you know what I'm saying? That is how important it was to me to excel in life. Do you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a thing of, I'm going to be mediocre. It's like, Jay-Z's got a saying, I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. You know?
I love that.
And so that's how it was for me. So I've come back home and I said, look, she said, so what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just going to do what, I'm going to take control of my life now. Do you know what I mean? And I remember when I was like selling like the Ralph Lauren polos and that, and like the Lacoste polos and all of that, my mum wasn't taking it serious, like looking at what I was doing, you know? Like people used to laugh at me, bro. Like I was walking around my local area to St Paul's Craig, Cockney. I'm walking around my area with polo shirts on my back, stopping like at a sunbed shop saying, here, I'll leave you with 5.
But you know what it is, bro, yeah? You see like a lot of the things because like, just even listening to you, to everything you say, like, I relate to it, bro. The dropping out of uni, went through the same thing, like, what are you gonna do? Same thing, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna win somehow. Like, but at the time, would you say there was a plan, or was it just literally, I'm just gonna win, innit? Like, was there a plan? Was there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I wanna be this, I wanna be that?
Nah. So there was a plan, but there wasn't a plan.
Yeah.
So the plan is to win.
Yeah, there was an outcome.
But I don't know how I'm gonna win. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna keep knocking on the door. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep knocking on the door and see how it goes. And that's why with me in this life, like I look at life a lot different to how other people look at it, and I know that you're the same. It's like you'll meet someone and it's like they're a doctor, or they're a restaurant owner, or everyone sticks to that one thing. But I see life completely. I see through different sets of glasses. I see it like we're people, we're humans. We can do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? I actually say to myself, listen, other than I can't be Ronaldo anymore, right? I can't be Ronaldo, yeah? But I believe that if I had me today coaching the next gen, yeah? So let's say coaching a little kid, I could turn him into that Ronaldo. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I know what needs to be installed in him, and it's all in the mind. You see having so many like different skills, because I'm the same. Yeah. Like, have you ever battled with like, am I doing too much or am I not doing enough? Have you ever felt like you're doing, like for example, you got multiple businesses, all different sectors. Yeah. Have you ever sat there and felt like you're doing 100%. Too much? So, and because in my journey on life, I've sat around many successful people worth hundreds of millions, billionaires, and it's not a thing of I'm approaching them in terms of like asking, like begging it. That these people are my genuine friends. I can pick up the phone and jump on a plane and go and sit with them and do things. I've been blessed in that, in the sense of that the doors open to me for these types of people. And what I would say is what did you ask me?
So in regards to, you felt like you're doing too much.
Yeah, that's it.
that happens to me all the time.
I had a vibe block. So what I'd say is when I first started out, I was just focusing on, I had a business called Get Paid, so I was buying, before that I was doing the clothes, selling on eBay and so on, but eventually 2010 comes and I'm running around, me and my partner, I'm looking for all different businesses to try and get into. I'm reading, because books was a massive thing to me. I was always reading books.
Talk about it.
So like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've read that book. That changed my life. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill changed my life. Psycho-Cybernetics changed my life. Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer R. Johnson changed my life. Yeah. So I was always reading books. And I was listening to audiobooks. Donald Trump changed my life. I know that people don't like him because of how he was in the presidency, and I get that. But if you study him before he ever went to
president, like I know it's controversial, but take your emotion out of it from a business point of view, from a salesman point of view, from a person who's going to go and get what he thinks he can get.
And not just that, Trump is like, the reason why he motivates me so much is because I would watch him in the presidency, and this is all I would do, because I don't watch television, but I do go on YouTube and find documentaries and things. And I'm so pissed that they silenced this man, and they've silenced this man because obviously he's a threat to whatever the system is planning, whatever them lot are planning. We won't go into that.
We might get blocked.
Yeah, but what Trump, I used to sit on YouTube every day without fail. I'm typing in Trump and I'm just watching his speeches, and I'm just like, this guy does not give a fuck. People will be saying things to him, will be like, fake news, sit down, next question, no, you're fake news, sit down. He doesn't give a fuck.
Things to take.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that is like this man, he took control of his future, and he took control of everything. He become president. Do you know what I'm saying? If he, this is a guy that was smashing girls constantly, disrespecting women. Do you know what I mean? Like, doing your hired, fired apprentice. Do you know what I'm saying? And then he goes and becomes president. Do you know what I mean? That proved that anything's possible. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So I was always I would listen to Trump's audiobooks, and there's an audiobook on Trump, and what it taught me, because growing up as well, especially where we come from, you've got there's this persona that you have to speak properly. You have to be able to speak English properly, present your words properly, yeah? Can't have any slang, can't be cockney, can't do anything like this. You have to dress properly, suit, tie,
that's really it.
Top button. You can't have facial, you can't have a beard like that. You won't be accepted in their world.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to, be someone that you're not.
To labour on that, because I feel like, especially the younger generation that follow you and follow our stuff, they might not even get that the same way, because it is different now.
Yeah, it's different.
Because it's all right now to be.
Now.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know why it's different now as well? Because people like us are making it like that for them.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's why when I do certain things, it's like sometimes I turn up to meetings and I'll go in a tracksuit fully, and everyone else will be sitting in suits, and I'll be in a full-on Mac tracksuit, and I'll be like, this is how I am. Take it or leave it. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the time people respect me for that, because they're like, you know what? He's genuine. Because sometimes I sit there and think, wait a minute, I can go and put a 3-piece on. I've got beautiful 3-pieces that I've had tailored. I've had them tailored. You know what I'm saying? They fit me nice on my legs. They fit me nice on my shoulders. I can look the part. But if I had don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't wear a suit, but I'm saying I'm doing that for you. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, what's happened in the lockdown now is, now when I go to meetings now, they're always in car parks. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, now they're turning up in a tracksuit as well. So we're sitting around and we're planning whatever job that we're on. Do you know what I mean? And so times are changing. Do you know what I'm saying? And even with the whole crypto space, and that's what we're going to now, going to soon. That has also given confidence. You know, we've got our WhatsApp group that we run, the trading network, and
powerful group.
Do you know what I'm saying? We've got, and even the crypto believers. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've got there's young kids that are 16 years old.
I see someone today comment saying Flomsie that you put me onto crypto. I'm like, I think they said 16 or 18, one of them.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I see these little kids and I'm like, do you know what? Because sometimes I do think to myself, because I promise you, I do suffer with mental health. I've actually realised that now. And that's why I like to keep myself by myself, and and that's because of all the trauma that I've been throughout my life. And so sometimes I think to myself, you know what? Fuck the world. I'm gonna just shut up. I'm gonna be silent.
Oh, bro, I have the same thing, bro. And I just feel like sometimes I have a moment where I feel like, am I doing too much? Am I talking the game more than I just play it, innit? Shut up and just fucking play it. Sometimes I feel just delete the whole thing. If I didn't have so many online brands, I probably would fuck off. I see sometimes you just delete all your pictures.
That's it. I'll go silent. But
I don't think people get that, bro.
Yeah, they don't go.
Because it looks like from the outside, I'm not gonna lie, people probably think it about me, bro. People probably think about you. It looks like sometimes all right, just shut the fuck up. You see, when you're in your car and you're snapping, I relate, because I a lot of the time I think don't get me wrong. Sometimes you go way further than I would go, But bro, each is to their own, innit? If that's your version of therapy, that's what keeps you at peace with something. But we need an outlet, bro. And I know some people look at that and don't understand that a lot of the time, and I know you can relate, bro, it's not even to be likes, reshares, screenshotted, DMs. It's actually just, bro, I'm sitting in my car and I'm thinking life's mad. And next thing you know, I'm over here. And next thing you know, I'm thinking, bro, when I was 9, if I had done that different, would I really be here now? Then I remember that guy who opened the door for me. Then I remember this and I remember that. So yeah, I can 100%. I relate when I see that. Is that therapy for you?
100%. So I'll tell you why it is therapy for me, especially when I can say that I suffer with mental health, yeah? And it takes a lot to actually come out and say that, do you know what I mean? So what is happening when I'm doing all this? Because, you know, listen, like I said, I'm not trying to be some influencer or some motivator or trying to do anything like that. I'm just living my life, right? And then whilst living my life and going through my madnesses in my head, I'm just talking, right? And then what happens is, because I'm talking, I'm thinking, because a lot of the time I'm going mad. Sometimes I sit there and I say to myself, I'm losing my mind. I've actually lost my mind. I say it, yeah? And then what I'll do is, because I'm losing my mind, imagine you're getting all these thoughts come into your head, and I just need to be sick. I need to throw them up. So by me throwing them up, I just take a picture whilst I'm driving, and I'll write a quote. Or whatever quote comes in my head, I'll just write a story. And then what happens is, people tune into it and people jump on it, and then people will comment. And then when they comment, I'm like, they'll say they're going through the same thing or whatever. And then I'm like, do you know what? I'm not alone. Because I've been in dark places before, especially like when businesses haven't gone right for me, and I lost my uncle. My uncle died, and my uncle was everything to me. 2016, April the 30th, he passed away 7 days after my birthday, and he was like my heart, you know, because I grew up with cold love. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, my mum never used to give me a cuddle when I was young. Do you know what I'm saying?
What's your background?
Nigeria, yeah. But my mum was fostered by a white family. Okay. And so my dad, he wasn't there at the beginning, and my dad might see this, and you know, it's just the reality of it. He wasn't there in the beginning, and then he left. He come into my life for a little bit, and then he left. And obviously, when he left, after we spoke at first, and then after, I didn't speak to him for 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? He missed 10 years of my life. And look, we're all right now. Like, he's got my number and so on, and we talk on WhatsApp. But, you know, like, he never put his arm around me and said he was proud of me. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and
that means a lot to, like, especially when it's mad. A lot, like I was saying earlier, the traumas, they can condition you, bro. 100%. I look at certain things I do now, and I think I do that as a result of that.
Your inner childhood.
Yeah, bro.
100%. Like,
you not getting that, like, big up maybe from a male figure. Like, bro, some of us can go on to always be searching for that from whoever, the girls, the guys, do you get me? Like, the habits and all these things, the money, bro.
That's it, exactly. And so I always, because I never got the love from my dad, and I never really got the love from my mum either. But listen, of course they love me. Do you know what I'm saying? But so I never knew how to love myself. Do you know what I mean? I never knew how to love myself, and I never knew how to actually love. Do you know what I'm saying? And so my uncle, he was that person that, like, showed me love. He picked me up. He was disabled. He only had one leg, but he picked me up and put me on his lap. He'd give me kisses, kiss me on the cheek, say I love you, boy. Do you know what I mean? He'd cuddle me. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when I lost him, I kind of like lost me at the same time. And
when was that?
That was 2016. And so then I went into a deep depression, and then my businesses weren't going well. I've made bad decisions. My dessert parlour didn't go to plan. That had to close. And I'm in a dark place. I'm suicidal now. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm already battling with my mental health anyway, so I'm suicidal now. It's 2016. And what I'm doing now is I've got no money coming in either. And I'm actually going up to, like, homeless people. And I'm sitting with homeless people. And I'm just saying, and they're drinking, they're drunk, things like that. And I'm just sitting there. I pull up in my car, I had an Audi Q7 at the time. And I was even behind on the payments with that. And I pull up and I just go walk up to a homeless person. I just sit next to her. And I just be like, how have you ended up like this, mate? Because I thought that that's where I was going to end up. I thought I was going to either end up like them, or I was going to end up dead. Because I was looking for ways to kill myself. I was actually online looking for the easiest ways to die with no pain. Do you know what I mean? And I'd ask these people, how have you ended up like that? And they would look back and talk to me, and I'd be like, mate, like, look me up and down, look at my car parked over there, and I'd be like, what are you talking about, mate? What's wrong with you? Like, sort yourself out, you don't know. But the thing is, where it was is when people are down, when people are low, doesn't matter what you've got, doesn't matter whether you wear a Rolex watch, doesn't matter whether you've got nice clothes or whatever. If you're down, I can be where I am in life, and I can feel low, and if I'm low, I can feel internally the same low as someone that's homeless. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though, all right, cool, I might have a place that I can go home and a bed that I can sleep on and lights and hot water and things like that, but sometimes none of that matters when inside you're broken. Do you know what I mean? And so I felt the same as the homeless man. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I could relate to him. And so when life actually started going to plan, because it was like
how would you, when you say it started going to plan, like, 'cause obviously nothing is just boom, like what things did you change?
So basically one day my partner Fibber, he come up to me, and because at first, like, when everyone that I was seeing 2016, this is a fact, anyone that's watching this that knows me, they'll tell you, 2016 I just became super negative. Everyone that I would see, I would tell them I'm going through trauma, my life is fucked, I'm depressed. I was speaking. You know, and you know how it is with Law of Attraction, The Secret, Tony Robbins, all of these things. They tell you you can't ever be like that. You have to.
You got to almost delete that. Even if your reality is fucked, like, you've got to speak a reality that isn't even the same.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And the thing is, so imagine my language, my whole life since I was a little boy was, no, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna do that. It was always like that. So I was always talking positive. I was always like, I'd never had to read The Secret. I've never read The Secret. I didn't have to. Because I was like, I heard about it, I read the little bio, and I was like,
principles that
these books are about me. Why am I reading to read books about me? Do you know, I'm not saying it in a cocky way, but I'm like, these books are about me. Do you know? So they are about the cloth that I am cut from. They're about the cloth that you are cut from. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you're cut from that cloth, you're gonna get bored. If I've got to sit down and read about a book about me, I'm gonna get bored. Do you know what I'm saying? But 2016 comes, and I went through such a negative. I was going through so much trauma, and I've lost my uncle and everything else, and I'm just down, you know. And everything is just. I'm just speaking this to everyone I'm seeing. I'm saying it to them, and it's spreading, because it's like when you talk negative, it spreads like a virus. Do you know what I'm saying? It is worse than the pandemic, corona. Do you know what I'm saying? It's worse than COVID. Because if I'm sitting with you, and I've realised this, and I'll talk about how we got into the crypto group and everything like that, but I started to realise recently that my happiness is based on other people around me being happy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
that's your purpose.
It's my purpose. Like, my purpose has always been, I'm a big giver. Do you know what I mean? And I believe my purpose is to switch on people, switch on their mind. Do you know what I mean? When you're down, when you feel like you can't make it, you can't get out, you can't achieve, I'll be that person that says, yes, you can. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll be able to explain to you that, listen, I've been in your situation. Do you know what I mean? When I set up my mobile phone shop, I went to the bank to ask for a loan. They never give me no money. It was like, they ain't giving you no money. Do you know what I'm saying? There was no loans. I had to work. I had to do everything. Buying and selling. All the packaging, Ralph Lauren shirts. Walking up to the post office. Walking from my mum's up to the post office with black bags, holding loads of stock. Putting them each and every single one. Sending it to different addresses. Then getting the profit and not spending the money. Do you know what I'm saying? Keeping the money, saving it. Just so that I could open up a shop. Do you know what I mean? Open up a business. And that people, when I did open the shop, people thought, oh, he's made it now. It was like, I haven't made it. This is day one now. Now the real fight about to begin. I've only just got through the door. Now it's really about to happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like 100%, bro. Everything you're saying I can relate to. Like, even when you said about, like, your purpose being to kind of switch people on. Like, this is obviously why we've got platforms like Grow Daily. But just to, like, touch on the group, like, no, do you know what? Just to even touch on crypto itself, like, for me, bro, crypto is, like, a bit more than just an investment vehicle. Like, I'm starting to find, like, one, there's a passion I've got for it. Yeah. Number two, I love the community part of it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love, it's the community part. It's sick. Like, I'm in like three groups. Like I said to myself, and this part is kind of like for anyone who wants to take tips from it if they're getting into it. Like I said to myself, don't overload myself with 100 groups. Don't talk to 100 people that do it, because you will just thrash your brain. Like, find people that you really believe are doing it, because it's I mean, everyone is talking
and
it.
that's why, again, like Jay-Z said, I always revert back to Jay-Z because Jay-Z inspired me a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And he said this: men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah. Fact.